Once upon a time in a land far, far away, way back in the 80s to be specific, I was just a kid, probably early 90s, and there was this band that had this guitar player that played a Stratocaster and just played the most amazing things I've ever heard on the guitar, even still to this day. Oh, although there are a lot of greats out there today, there was nobody like this guy. A la Eddie Van Halen. And I would say what he was most known for was for sure, well, again, just being an amazing guitar player. But I would say for me, what stood out was tapping. I never quite got it like him, but I do have some concepts that help me utilize it from time to time. I mean, I have my, Eddie impersonations, but I'm no Eddie by any means. But if tapping is something that you're looking to get into, I can introduce you to it with a couple concepts. So basically, thing number one, I want to remind you of anything with music. Anytime you're hearing, a solo or improvised section, understand that they understand the notes inside of whatever key, a la a scale, and for the most part, within the scale, and even playing chords inside the scale, you more or less kind of got two shapes: major, minor. There's that one half diminished, or maybe it's whole diminished, depending on what you're doing. But point being, we're just gonna go over those three in particular here. Um, Starting with my favorite key this month of January 2025, D. So we're going to be playing the one chord, which would be a D major, the two chord, which would be an E minor, and the seven chord, which would be a C sharp half diminished. There is a video somewhere on the tube, on the page, going over all those chords. If that's something that interests you, check that out. But yeah, let's look at this first example, which I want to say I'm going to use just the arpeggio, the 1, 3, and the 5. And yeah, let's take a look at that now. For the D chord, we're going to tap 10, pull off to that 3, and then the third would be on 7. For the E minor, we're going to tap 12, pull off on 5, and hammer 8. And then that C sharp diminished in the left hand, it's going to feel the same as the minor. The difference is the 5 is flat. So in your right hand, you're going to tap 8. Your left hand is 2, 5. You put those together. In this next example, I'm just going to play 1, 2, 3 for each one of those. I like this one, I think, for running up and down the neck a bit because the notes are closer together, so it's easier to do. But let's take a look at those three chords right here. For this one, my right hand is going to tap the 7 this time. In the left hand, you should still be holding that 3. And now I would probably use the ring finger, at least for the first two chords, to play the 2. And in this example, it'll be on the 5th fret. So 7, 3, 5 for the D major. For the E minor, it'll be 8, 5, 7. And then for the C sharp diminished, it'll be 5, 2, 3. So in this case, I would use the middle finger because it's closest right there. And then back to that D. Well, surprised if you didn't already think of it on your own, and maybe you missed my short where I went over this subject of tapping. You could combine the two of those and make it a 4-note pattern, which will also give you a different rhythm because you have more notes to play. Let's take a look at that. For this excerpt, essentially, we're going to be tapping the 5th like we did in the first example with our right hand, and in our left hand, we're going to hammer the 2 and the 3 via the ring and the pinky, or the middle and the pinky. So for the D, it's going to be 10, 3, 5, 7. For the E minor, 12, 5, 7, 8. C sharp diminished 8 2 3 5, and then back to the D. So in conclusion, like I said earlier, we just need, 2 or 3 different shapes for the most part, and we can have some fun. Even music itself is just a few chords out of any given scale, on a fundamental level. Um, and Also, in conclusion, don't be scared to just focus on one. Like, just focus on the D. I mean, everybody has their struggles, but if you could get the three together, obviously it'll sound very musical and fun to play, even just by itself. So I hope this was helpful. If you want to maybe go over the whole scale, let me know in the comments below. And I guess until we meet again, rock on.